All right, we're here with Jess Castillo, listing agent for Team Integrity. So we're going to interview her and get a couple questions answered. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got connected to Team Integrity and real estate in general.
Okay, so I actually was a Team Integrity past client years ago. I think I'm the only current member of the team who was a client turned member.
Client first.
Yeah, client first, then member. Obviously, we help each other out now on the buying and selling side, but my experience started back in 2014. I had just gotten married, and I knew James Warkaiser, the other listing agent, because I used to teach his daughter.
Okay.
And so when it came time for my husband and I to buy a house, we started chatting with him. Bought our house with Team Integrity. It was actually a really long process because it was a short sale, and those are anything but
That'll
short.
test how good your agent is real quick.
Exactly. But it was a really smooth process, as long as it was. And we kept in touch. You know, James is great about keeping in touch with folks. So basically, about 2 years ago, I kind of came to a point in life where I needed to make some big decisions about what my long-term goals were and what my future was going to look like, because it was starting to pan out differently than I anticipated. So real estate was something that had always piqued my interest, and my husband and I had talked about eventually having one of us or both of us get licensed, just kind of for personal reasons. Really, we wanted to get into investments and stuff like that, but I messaged James one day on Facebook, told him I was thinking about enrolling in real estate school. Basically just wanted to ask for some tips about where to go to school, who I needed to be talking to. And the first thing he said was, why don't you come shadow me at work for a few days? And
so this was about 2 years ago?
It's about 2 years ago, actually in August of 2016. I still had to finish out my obligations at my last job, so that was gonna. I knew I was at least a year out from really being able to start in real estate, but I needed to start kind of planning. So came and shadowed in August of 2016 for a couple of days. Met everybody. At the time, I really didn't think I was going to be offered a position on the team. I was more just looking for guidance.
Figure out what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. But after talking with Aaron and Jenny and everybody, it sounded like they might actually have a spot for me when I was ready. And I didn't want to put all of my eggs into that basket because I knew I was a ways out. Yeah. But I thought, if they're serious and they're really willing to wait for me, then awesome. Yeah. And they did.
That's awesome.
So about a year later, once I was licensed and ready to move forward, I stepped on as a listing agent, and now James and I are pretty much joined at the hip.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So going on about a year and a half of active working real estate listings, what do you enjoy the most about it so far?
I would have to say I love the fact that it's kind of always changing. The scenery is always changing. I'm always working with different people.
Different tasks.
Every transaction looks completely different. The routine is the same. Yeah. But I'm okay with that. I like the fact that I'm constantly on my toes because everybody's got a different personality. Yeah. There's really not a one-size-fits-all approach in real estate. So
looking at last week you spent one day cleaning up dead cockroaches.
Yes, I did.
And in that same week, you listed $1 million property.
Right. It's you never know what the day holds. Honestly,
that's awesome.
It can be just opposite ends of the spectrum like that within a 3-hour span. Yeah. And that's kind of what's cool about it, though, is that I like to be active. I like to be. I'm cool with sitting behind a computer screen and doing some busy work. I like a little bit of that, but I also like to be out meeting people and seeing houses and on the road. Awesome. And so it's kind of the perfect combination of the two for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you enjoy most about Team Integrity?
It's tricky to say what aspect I love the most because the two biggest things are the business side and the relational side. Yeah. But they're kind of a perfect storm when you put them together because the excellence on this team, the standards, the level of service is pretty much unsurpassed in my opinion.
I agree.
But you won't find a group who's closer
Yeah.
And who has more fun together. It's
outside
of the office. Yeah, absolutely. Like, we are best buddies.
Yep.
We're like family. If something happens in one of our days, everybody's at their aid. Everybody's always willing to drop their life to come to your aid. That's kind of atypical for
absolutely
a business relationship, I would say, but it's really special.
I can't think of any other job I've had working with others where we're so much entwined in the personal life outside of what you get paid for.
Right, and I kind of think that a lot of times it's one or the other. You either have excellence in your business, but you might not necessarily really like or respect each other, because it can be tough to run a tight ship and expect a lot of people. But to be able to have the environment where, we're so close and we love each other dearly, it's unique.
Yeah,
it's hard to find.
And it's crazy, like looking at how intertwined we are. Meaning, like, taught James' kids. You taught my daughter dance when she was 4 or 3.
Yep.
It's just cool seeing how all those
connections
together. Absolutely.
Yeah.
As you build your business within Team Integrity, I mean, you're extremely successful. Especially, you've done more transactions than a lot of people have done in 10 years in a year and a half. Why, as you continue to build your business, why do you stay a part of the team?
The mentorship. You can't find that anywhere else. Keller Williams in general has great training programs, but I'm under constant mentorship from any angle that I want. I've got the listing side mentorship, got the admin side if I need it, the buy side. There's a level of accountability that we're held to on this team that I think a lot of teams aren't. Sometimes that means, tough love and tough conversations, but it's all for the greater good. You're challenged. You're definitely challenged more on this team than you could be on your own. Even if you're a super highly driven, motivated person, I can't imagine being as successful anywhere else.
That's awesome. What value has the team added to your business?
I feel like it's kind of redundant, but honestly, the mentorship. Like, I never would have done as many transactions as I've done on my own. I've seen a lot in a year.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot. I'm sure there's so much more to come, but you can't, the experience and the knowledge I've gleaned from the other team members is invaluable. Really is.
Can't even put a price tag on it.
You can't. And all financial aspects aside, or monetary gain, like, I've learned more in the last 9 months than I've learned in the last 10 years, I'd say. It's just been packed with knowledge.
That's awesome.
And experiences, and you can't get that anywhere else.
And how it can permeate, like, you and your husband have another business, and how those can overlap as far as the lessons you learn here.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're business principles. It's not just real estate related.
Absolutely.
How do you see Team Integrity as a part of your long-term goals?
Again, I don't feel like I could, I don't think I would be pushing myself this hard on my own. I love to learn new things and I'm motivated, but this team has a way of bringing out the best in you, whether you like it or not. It's kind of like not just pushing you off the comfort zone ledge, but like giving you a swift kick in the rear.
Yeah.
And so whatever goals I would have set for myself for 5, 10, 20 years down the road, I know they pale in comparison to what kind of goals I'm going to be setting now that I'm a part of this team, and now that I see what I'm actually capable of.
For sure.
I'm going to go a lot further.
Yeah. So, I mean, what excites that's got to be exciting, because like you're time-wise very new to the industry still.
Right, exactly.
But like I said, you've experienced more in this short period of time than people have, some in their entire real estate careers. You know, that's like you're still just getting started.
I know.
Like,
when people ask me, how long have you been in the business?
Yeah.
It's almost like a little punch in the gut to have to say, oh, you know, just over a year, because I'm thinking like you have no idea
like,
what I've seen.
Imagine what 10 years looks like.
I know.
20 years. Like it's, even if it grew by 5%, like that puts you at a millionaire by the time you're 40 or 50 years old. That's just,
I mean,
it's
hey,
crazy.
Let's do
it's
it.
awesome. It's awesome.
It is.
Anything you want to add about the team or real estate in general?
Just grateful to have been put on this seat in the bus.
That's awesome.
And to be in an environment. More than anything, I value the environment because I think relationships and your happiness are more important than
Absolutely.
the money.
Money comes and goes.
It does. And I've had people even on the team tell me, like, I'm not one of those people who's totally money driven. Like, I'm more relationship driven.
Absolutely.
And I think this is the perfect place for me for those reasons.
Yeah, I can't really pick anybody on the team that is in it just for the money. Like,
no.
Forget the people, look at the money.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to that scene. You can't put a price tag on that culture.
Right, you really can't.
Bottom line, we're here to help families and help people. And if you do that, the money's it's going to come eventually.
Exactly.
It's a byproduct.
I think when you focus on the people and focus on loving others and loving them well, the money will be a byproduct.
Yep. That's awesome.
As well.
There's something unique about getting paid to do what you love.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. So, awesome. Thank you guys very much for watching.